What's up, everybody? Deprogramme to Reprogramme 101. Today I'm going to be just talking about passionate about people. Being passionate about people, becoming passionate about people, and how do we inform ourselves so that we are passionate in the right way about other people. So I'm going to just share the video a little bit. I got to do this, and I'm going to share it to the Greene Fried review, and then I'm going to get started. So I hope everybody's having a blessed Saturday morning. I hope everybody's in good spirits, really, just all the time, because we have to continue to be in good spirits to just fight off those negative spirits that are in the air, those negative things that are going on all about us. And we also have to, combat the forces of hate that seem to want to box us in. And the way we do that is, one, how we inform ourselves. Okay. Two, I feel it's also how we inform one another. Because information in this era is key. Mary, what's up? Can you share this to your page? Because I couldn't even register on there or whatever, but share it to your page if you can, please. Robert, what's up? How's everybody doing? But there's a lot of struggles going on, not only in the world, but in our minds. And a lot of people are fighting with the realization that we may have been living not only a lie, but we may have been living, amongst a society, amongst a structure of society that is unbeneficial to us in our existence. And this is hard to deal with because we are 200 plus years in an American civilization. And from the beginning, we have seen that the rulers of our society, the rulers of our American, civilization haven't shown that they are passionate about people. You know what I mean? They are passionate about their purpose. But we have to ask ourselves, is their purpose also our purpose as people? These are hard questions that we have to ask ourselves because we've been taught since young. We've been taught since the moment we were able to, start speaking this language that we are taught. We've been taught since from the moment we start to, have the ability to process the information that is being output in the world around us. And we've been taught to have a purpose that was not ours. The reason why we're living today and the purpose behind why we are living today is ultimately not ours. The purpose of what drives us to wake up every morning has been that of another legion of men, or that of another group, small, by the way, of men who saw it fit, okay, to place their purpose upon a mass of people. So how do we go away from the purpose that wasn't ours? How do we get away from a lifestyle that wasn't meant to be that of ours if we fail to get the wrong information? How do we get involved with one another in a way that we can develop a deeper understanding of who we can become together if the purpose behind why we are living is being narrated by the same people who cause destruction and terror all across these lands? Now, I sit here today trying to understand where we are at as a society. Not only in America, but also in the global community. And this is hard for me to do because I've had to give back, okay? I've had to deprogram from a mass of information, misinformation, shall I say, that was taught to me my whole entire life. And this is a fight amongst itself because I had to ask myself the hard questions like, how can it be that you were able to believe these mistruths? How can it be that you were able to go along with these false narratives? I'm so confused that we have been taken to a place of misguidance, more or less. We have been misguided in a place that we should be united. Does not the sun rise every morning amongst all the people? Does not the moon come up amongst all people? Are the waters not flowing to give to every thirsty mouth that there is in this existence? Does the air pick and choose who they would love to let breathe in this existence that we see in our realization in our everyday lives? These things in nature have no picks. Nature and the way what we exist in and what we exist as has no picks. Nature doesn't say, oh, I have air only for white people. I have air only for rich people. I have an abundance of water only for those who have the power to control and maintain the structure of their society. The sun doesn't say, I'm going to allow my rays to shine amongst the rich. I'm going to allow my rays to shine amongst the affluent. I'm going to allow my rays only to shine amongst the privileged. The sun has no picks. The sun doesn't see black or white, yellow, brown, purple, whatever color you want to. The rainbow, yeah, I mean, it sees the rainbow, yeah, because, the sun hits the rainbow, so it's like, yeah, all right, beautiful colors. So, like, yeah, that does. But the sun has no picks. The sun sees no division amongst people. The moon smiles upon everyone. The moon doesn't say, I'm going to smile amongst the black population because that's who I choose to shine amongst. I'm not going to shine amongst this other population of people because I'm the ultimate decider of who and what can get who, what and where and how. Nature has taught us that we belong together as people. Or nature has tried to teach us that we belong together as people. Now, the information that we are being taught by man is taking away from what nature is trying to teach us as just simple people, simple human beings, simple brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers. Nature is saying to all of us that it wants us to come together and relish in the glory that it shows us, relish in the glory that it provides for us, and just jump into everything that it is trying to give to us. Not in the way that says, oh, it's only for these people because we allow money to rule us now. Money does not rule us. But that's what we've been taught. We've been taught that money is the deciding factor of who we should become as people. So now you see in the everyday process of life, people are going to work for a cause that they know not which, other than that which they were taught. People are going and waking up every day in the realities of life, okay? This is real core stuff. The realities of life are so much suffering, but in our own realms, in our own circles of trust, in our own circles of comfort, the beauty of life is evident because we've been provided the ability to live comfortably amongst the massive suffering. Now, the rulers of this society have taught us that, hey, being American is being above all other things. Being American is being the best of all other peoples. Being American allows you the privilege to choose whether or not you will care about the pressing issues that all people have to deal with. Do I agree with this? No, I don't. Should you agree with this? No, you shouldn't. What we have to do, what we are called to do as a people, is seek out the right information that is amongst us and not be misguided by the false narratives and the misguided perceptions of life that has been passed on to us by these rulers, and our families are doing their bidding as well now, as we are too. But we don't even realize our own faults. We don't even want to realize our own faults because then we have to really take into account who are we benefiting with our lifestyles. Are we helping the system maintain its pressure on the people, or are we helping the people push back against the system that is seeking to take advantage of our every waking moment? I sit here today talking to you people only because I'm passionate about people. I don't have to be here, but I'm here because I care about everyone. And I don't want to just go and deal with my family and my friends and my surroundings and say, okay, I can give a fuck about what's going on with other people and their suffering. I can give a damn about the people's in their minds and how they're crazy and insane and believing all types of bullshit that's been thrown out here from every single avenue of misinformation. And I could continue on my life. It wouldn't be peaceful, I would say, because my mind, okay, my mind is not going to allow me to do so. This is the mind that was provided to me by nature. Okay? When you deprogram from that which society is teaching you, it's a whistling sound. All right. Let me see if I can change that. Let me see if I can chip that and change the whistling sound. Sorry. How about now? Is it on now? Is the whistling sound going now? Tell me if the whistling sound is going now. But we have a calling to seek out that which nature is trying to provide us. And we have a calling to seek out that which nature is trying to teach us. How can we come to know love in a society that has taught us to hate? How can we come to know togetherness in a society that has taught us to divide ourselves up from one another? This is not something that I was keen to early on in my life, I should say, because I wasn't blessed to have the ability to know all this knowledge and information about things that are going on in today's time as today's time back in the day as I do now. Because for one, this was my parents. You know what I mean? My parents are not at fault because they were taught around the same premise that we are taught. Believe in the system, work as much as you can for the system, and then, okay, then find your niche. Find what you're good at and, excel at that. And that's life. Find something that you're good at and excel at that. But do it around the confines of your own comfort. And me, my whole life, all right? My whole life, I had to question myself, like, what is this real? Is this right? I'm questioning myself, but at the same time, I'm going and trying to live in the best way that, I thought I knew how around the things that I was being taught. And the return on that investment was much suffering. The return on the investment, the way I choose to live, was much suffering because I didn't choose to go about it the way that normal people go about it and say, okay, I'm going to not take any risk. I'm not going to do nothing bad here, nothing bad there. I'm not going to get my hands dirty. I'm just going to be a nice guy and I'm a nice guy, but as far as bad, oh, you're doing bad, what society says, you're doing bad stuff and blah, 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 blah. So I got into trouble in my lifetime. Okay? I got into trouble in my lifetime. Was this something that I intentionally did on purpose? No. I was searching. I was searching just for a way to seek and gain understanding. This is what life is about. Every day we wake up, we need to be evolving. We need to be seeking out that which we're not being told to seek out. Because if you haven't realized up until this point, there is a reason why we keep getting pushed back to the government. There is a reason why we're getting pushed back to politics. There is a reason why they want us in our every waking thoughts to think about politics, to think about we got to worry about Donald Trump. We got to worry about the Republicans. We got to worry about the Democrats. We got to worry about a memo. We got to worry about Bernie Sanders. We got to worry about this guy. We got to worry about that guy. This stuff is leading us away from worrying about each other. That's why I'm so passionate. That's it. That's why I'm passionate about people. Because I realized, I said, wait, Chris, who do you care about? Who do you really care about in this world? And when I had to take that into account, it was hard to think about this stuff because look, I'm black. I am a black man. My people were done dirty throughout history. And still to this day. All right, now take that into account, and you've seen how your people were treated. I'm partial Native American. I have Native American in my blood. And I seen how they were treated. And I said, wait a minute, how can I just live and just be cool with all the history behind this shit? How is that so that I'm being told to just, get over it? Move on. Do something different. Talk about something. It's all these other issues this is wrong. This stuff is boiling in my blood. Millions of my people are at the bottom of the ocean floor. Millions more on the bottom of these lands. Massive buildings, massive structures. Millions upon millions are buried underneath. Now I'm told I'm supposed to forget about this stuff. So how is it that I'm going to bring my passion to all people if I'm told by the forces that are driving this society to ignore these things? Don't talk to others about your frustrations. Don't talk to others about the things that you have to deal with as a black man in this society that says that black men are lesser of people, that says that Native American are lesser of people, that says that Mexicans are lesser of people. Don't talk about those things because nobody wants to hear it anymore. We know about it, and this is wrong. I come from a place of love. When I took time to realize what's going on, I said, you know what? I'm not mad. No. I'm not mad that society is telling me to go along with this narrative. I'm not mad. You know why? It's because I get it. When I started to get it, I started to realize that this was part of their process. So that way they can further along the division. So that way that we as people don't want to dig deep and talk about the truths that are out there. So now when I talk about this is so critical. My white brothers and sisters, I love all people. But when I think about what they're doing to my white brothers and sisters, I get so pissed off. Because what they're telling them is not to seek out the understanding that they need from their counterparts. Not to seek out the understanding that they need from their black and brown sisters and brothers. In order for them to ultimately come to an understanding that would make everything whole. That would bring everybody together in conclusion that we are all being played for fools. But the question is, why are we all being played for fools? This is something that people don't want to talk about. Because people are loving the privilege. People are loving the comfort. So they can go in their comfort spaces. They can go to their places of ease and access and say, look, I'm not going to worry about all that because it has nothing to do with me. I'm not worried about those people because look, I'm above them and I'm always going to be above them, and anything that they have to encounter is not going to affect me. So as long as I'm safe and full of comfort, as long as I have my comfort, I don't have to worry about anything that is going on with them. And that is wrong. Because like I said earlier, the sun shines amongst all of us. So our minds, when we think, we should think about all of us. We shouldn't just think about, I'm white. Oh, I'm privileged. The sun just shines on my people, and that is how I'm going to act in life. The sun just shines. Oh, this water is bountiful for my people, so I'm going to be okay with that. Because look, we got plenty water. Let them deal with the polluted water over there, because guess what? We don't have to worry about that, Junior. We have all the access and this narrative is being played out to this day. This narrative started when they realized the abundance that was in this land that they came from. They didn't have any control where they came from. They wanted control. They had an abundance where they came from, but they didn't understand what nature was trying to tell them. Nature didn't tell them to go to this land and say, hey, we're going to just, those people love people. Native Americans accepted these men. The black people in Africa accepted these men. Oh yes, we can trade. We can do business together. And these men seen the love, the togetherness, the communion
between the peoples, okay? Because they realized that, one, they were connected with nature in a way that they would never understand. We have that ability to connect with nature again, just as they did thousands of years ago. But we are being misinformed as people. So when we're misinformed as people, we start sharing and spreading the wrong information. Information is more key than what we think. Okay? The information you speak, the information you read, the information you start to put in your mind to allow process what's going on around you on a daily basis. So now you might see somebody that's sick and suffering and struggling, but the information that you have within you of love, not the misguided information, is not going to say, oh, well, they got there because they messed their money up and they shouldn't have did this, X, Y. That's not what's going to lead your mind. You're going to say, I want to understand how they got there without judging a book by its cover. You know, I don't like the cliches that they made up, but some of them are real true to life. But what you see in this lifetime is that we all judge a book by a cover because it was taught to us. It wasn't taught to us to say, look, embrace all people. That's your brother right there. That's your sister right there. Johnny, what are you talking about? Yeah, they're different color skin, but that's your brother right there. That's your sister. That's not what's going on today. And it's going on both in the black and white community. This is not just some black or white thing. This is both sides of the aisle. We're both playing into the division that allows us to be out of formation. And that allows them, the forces of government, to come through right. It's like this. It's like a V. They come through right between us and divide us up. Here they can divide us up. There they can divide us up. Everywhere they can divide us up. So everybody's so focused on politics, but they're not realizing that the division is outside of politics. Everything that we want is outside of politics. Everything that we seek in life is outside of politics. What we are called to exist as is outside of politics. And it kind of pisses me off. Because it doesn't piss me off because guess what? I was a part of the flock too. I thought politics was the way. I thought that I was going to have to vote for people to get into office to change things. I believe that the information I was being taught from mainstream media, you know, I was dumbed down and I was brainwashed to the point where I believed everything that was coming out of mainstream media. So I loved Obama. I loved Bill Clinton. You know what I mean? I didn't really dislike George Bush to the point until I started realizing how fucking schematic they were. You know, but it was all part of the process. Like, all right, Bush, he's just, you know, they're fucking crooks and they're doing this and that, but they always did that. Because I was under the Democratic mind frame. I was educated or taught to look, we're more or less Democrats. Republicans don't like black people, so you should be Democrat. And if you're a black and you're a Republican, guess what? You're a fraud. You're a turncoat. You're a Benedict Arnold or whatever the case you have. You know what I mean? They teach us division on all avenues. From young. If we're really passionate about people, guess what we will do? We will make sure that every child sees no division. We will make sure that every child sees no hate. More or less right now, us as adults, we might be done for. Because it's seemingly too hard to deprogram the mind when it's been strategically, craftily programmed. Okay? These people have got a hold of information, okay? Because information is key. These people got a hold of information that allowed them to understand that we can move these people any way we want. We can move these people any way we want. And all it takes is certain bits of information. So now, when it comes to, we'll go back to politics. Russia, Donald Trump. Oh, we can move this mass of people to hate. All we have to do is say Donald Trump is this and Donald Trump is that. Now, people are not even sound within themselves. Because they input the wrong information into their minds. So now the output of the information they input, more or less oftentimes, is hate. More or less oftentimes is division. More or less oftentimes allows us never to come together. And this is a struggle because I love people on the daily. And I love having the ability to meet new people off of like Facebook or whatever the case is. Because my life, I have so many friends. You know what I mean? I have a lot of family friends, whatever. And my life could have been to the point where, I could have been happy doing whatever I was doing before. But then I realized the whole time, it's like, look, I'm just passing by, really. You know what I mean? Even when I was with friends, I'm passing by because they don't think like I think. They don't see things like I see things. So then when I'm there, I can't be who I want to be. Because I'm told to suppress my voice. I'm told to subdue the things that I think. Because the programming from American society tells them to say, look, these people who think like nature is the best thing of all, these people who think money doesn't rule you, these people who think materials are no good, they're crazy. You should just keep point the finger at them because those are the people that are wrong. It's not you that's wrong, it's them. These people who's like, I've revealed so much about life in 1 year. And it's crazy. It took 1 year for me to take myself out of the equation and just observe what's going on around it. Observe what's going on with my friends. Observe what's going on with my family. We're sick. They have us. We are suffering from possibly the worst disease ever. I didn't realize, I realized it a little bit, going through my life and everything, but I didn't realize how deep it was. I didn't realize how bad the sickness was until last year. Honestly, I'm just being honest because I was part of the sickness. I was sick as well. With the whole Bernie Sanders thing, I was sick as well because my mind wasn't sound. I was moving more or less by the information that was being put out there. I didn't take the time to step back and process the information in the way that I should have earlier on, but I don't beat myself up about it. You shouldn't beat yourself up about it either, but we should come to the understanding that we have to keep a passion about people. Because if we don't, we'll continue to divide ourselves up, being more knowledgeable, being more enlightened, and being more in the know from those that are not. And this is something that we cannot do. Because we can't think that we can possibly change the pace of history or change the course of society by just being in the know and sticking together and that's just it. No. It's simple mathematics. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. 10 plus 10 is 20. 100 plus 100 is 200. 100 minus 100 is like this. 100 plus 0 is still 100. So if we have 100 people that know these information and know the truth, but we say, oh, fuck these people because they're crazy and la, 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 la. I get it though. I completely get this shit because I've had enough of it too. I'm done with the bullshit of people believing, but these are people that we have to care about. These are people who are deeply connected to us. They're not deeply connected to us by more or less skin tone or whatever. They're deeply connected to us by us existing in this beautiful world. We don't exist apart. We are all together in this world. This world provides everything that we need, but we are taught to think in a manner in which we just laugh at others because they think differently. We critique others because maybe their thought process might not be aligned with our thought processes. So it's not something that we'll come to try to understand them and talk about it and communicate to them about what we feel about them or what we think we should try to come to an understanding about. We more or less just, oh no, block that person out. This person's a weirdo. Block them out. They're crazy. Block them out. They're this, they're that. Block them out. No, this is hate. Indirectly. Because we are connected one to another. Beginning of time. Like, come on, man. If you go back to, do I go back to the beginning of fucking time? You think it was just a million people that just, hey, I'm gonna throw a white person here, I'm gonna throw a black person, Chinese, Asian, whatever. In the beginning of time, this is how life was created. It was a whole mass of people, and all y'all be divided. Y'all go and be divided, y'all. and live life in the division state. No, we were connected from the beginning of time to the end of time. But it is up to us to seek out the right information. It is up to us to share with others the right information so that way they can see their faults. Not in the way that is critical and judging and passing judgment and stereotypical through the eyes, through the lens. This lens wasn't given to us to be stereotypical and judgmental to others. This lens was given to us to see the beauty of the world and understand it in the way that we can see the suffering of another and uplift them. We can see the suffering of a mass of people and figure out the ways in our intricate minds that we have to find the proper solutions to get the things that they need. Or to get the information that they need to rise above the bullshit that they're being taught. So how are we going to combat the education system? How are we going to stop the education system from distracting and misguiding our children? If we first don't start to educate ourselves on coming together instead of dividing ourselves up. Because I think, all the problems that we have, people think everybody thinks they got everything figured out. I don't got everything figured out. I'll be the first to tell you that shit. I just have another piece of the puzzle that is connected to the whole, as do you. But I'm starting to get in tap with what my piece means to the whole. And we should all dig deep to figure out what our piece of the puzzle means to the whole, as opposed to letting society and our parents who are products of society tell us what our part is to the whole. How can we as a youth or as a people understand what this is what I've been realizing. Our parents have a lot of interest for us. My face is blocked by the love sign, live sign. Oh wow, that sucks. All right, there. Is that better? Is that better? Hold on, let me slide this way. Can I slide that way? I don't know what's going on. Hold on. All right, there you go. Bam. All right, that better? That's better. No light though. But this is what I'm trying to say. How do we allow our children to be educated in the same system that has taken us to this place today? How do we allow our children to be educated by the same governing forces that has taken us to the place that we are at today? And then expect for us to actually change the paradigm in society. How do we expect to become a global people if we're going to allow them to determine when and how we become a global people? How do we as a people defend our youth? Okay, because this is what this is really about. For me, this is about passionate about people. But being passionate about people, you have to be passionate about the young. Because the young are under attack right now. We were under attack our whole lives. And we see the product of this because we're all divided as adults. I'm 34. Some people are younger. Some people are older. But you know what I'm talking about as far as the division. If it wasn't in politics, it was in the form of life and the environment in your community. Oh, don't go to this place. Those people are crazy. Those people are scary. Don't go over there because they're not going to treat you like this and that. Don't go there and that. No. Believe in racism. Love racism, hate, division, hate. And nobody took the time to say, wait, we don't have to, this doesn't have to be our reality. I'm not buying that bullshit. This is kind of what I'm telling you. This is the shit I said. I said this my whole life. I was like, yo, do I hate people? Do I hate white people? No. I'm like, no. Why the fuck would my people tell me to hate white people because they did this? They did this and that to your people and in history. You gotta hate. But then I'm like, no, we don't. I mean, what? How can you tell me to hate, but then you're going to work and working in the white man's system? Like, I don't get it. Like, what this makes no sense to me. Like, I couldn't process it. Oh, you gotta love money. You gotta love this and I'm like, wait a minute. Love money? What do you mean? My ancestors and the people thousands of years ago didn't need money to live. They understood that nature was going to provide, and they understood that each person has a part to play. You know what I mean? We have to realize that we are much smarter than them. We are much more capable than which they teach us as. We have the ability to come together in a beautiful manner
and connect with nature in an abundant manner, but we first have to place the right information inside of our minds. We cannot be sitting and waiting for 2018, sitting and waiting for 2020. This is the logic that has been created by the American society. Oh, well, you want change, you better vote in 2018. You want change, you better vote in 2020. You better vote in this, you better vote then. But people are like, yeah, we're going to get them Republicans out. We're going to get those out. We're going to vote our people in. But then they're realizing that, yo, you're going to vote your people in to a corporation that has already structured itself to where politicians don't even matter. You didn't know that, though. People don't know that. Politicians don't matter. When I realized that, that's when I realized we might be fucked as people. Because the majority think politicians matter. You know what I mean? Now, policy, that's a little bit different. Now, see, this is the trick. Policy matters a little bit right now because of the structure of government. Politicians don't matter at all because politicians are not our voice. Politicians only can do but so much because they're only one person. So now when you think then when I thought like this is my miss, oh, Bernie Sanders is going to do this, Bernie Sanders is going to do that. But I never realized the whole time that even if Bernie Sanders was elected, he wasn't going to be able to do shit because the other politicians don't give a fuck about Bernie Sanders. And not only the other politicians, but the shadow government definitely doesn't give a fuck about Bernie Sanders because they've shown that they don't give a fuck about us. I mean, how many peace marches are you going to have to go on before you realize that war is not going to stop? How many protest marches are you going to have to go on before you realize that the Democratic Party doesn't care about you? How many marches are you going to have to go on to realize that Donald Trump is not the end-all be-all of government? We have to inform ourselves in a strategic manner. We have to become a militarized force of people ready to act in love. When you see formations, when you think formations, we have to think military. When the military set up an formation, they understand the strengths and the weaknesses of more or less all their soldiers. And that's who we are soldiers for each other. We are soldiers for life. We are soldiers that are fighting this battle apart, divided right now, but we need to be fighting this battle together. Think about the massive front line if we had white, black, Mexican, poor, affluent, disabled, straight, gay, whatever the case is, standing together. Think about that. They wouldn't know what to do. They would be in such fear that they would figure that they would have to use violence against us. But we're smarter than that. We're smarter than them. We're not acting like it. And the reason why we're not acting like it is because we are misinformed as people. We are misinformed to the tune of nearly every avenue. When you talk about love, when you talk about hate, people make it seem like it's so easy. You know what I mean? I realized like, fuck, this shit is even more intricate than what I thought it was. Because love isn't even just love. People just throw love around like free. Oh, I love you. I love you too. Oh, I love you. But they don't really know what they're saying because we don't really know what love is. Love is letting go of self. You know what I mean? When I do this shit for myself, I say, I'm going to let go, man. Just go out there and be free. Love the world. I get good results. You know why? Because I'm not leading. I'm not letting myself lead the way. I'm letting the environment lead the way. You know, I'm traveling though. I'm going on course, but I'm traveling, but I'm observing. I'm letting my eyes see the things that the love that I was taught. That, oh, I'm just so friendly with it. I love you. No. The real love is you observant to what's going on around you. You see things that you wouldn't normally see because you care. You see things that you wouldn't normally see because you dug deep down within self to let the love be output into the world. And it's not someone that says, oh, I love you. Oh my God, I love you too. Give me a hug. No, I love you. What's going on with you? What do we need to talk about to figure out how that we can help you in your struggling situation, brother or sister? How can we cater to your needs, sister girl? Because I see you suffering and They're not telling you to get the proper remedies for your suffering. The remedies come from each other. The remedies come when we take ourselves out of the equation. Okay? We have to learn to take self out of the equation. And we have to let the real love, the love that flows deep. It's like godlike. I don't want to get to this spiritual stuff because y'all going to just lose me. I'm going to lose y'all. But it's like godlike. Because deep down inside us, believe it or not, is the part of nature that connects deep down within us. From the womb outside, water is life. We are water. Water flows freely to all people. So, being that we're the majority water, we should be flowing freely to all people. The water, you know this shit. The ocean doesn't say, oh, this is for black people. This is for white people. No, this is for the rich people. This is for those people. The ocean says this is for all people. We need to start saying within ourselves that I am for all people. I'm not for self first. Because when you think about the whole, you're actually thinking about yourself. That's not what they teach you though. They say, yo, no, do for self first. You gotta do for self and make sure yourself is straight before you can help somebody else. But they're not really telling you the truth. You helping somebody else is actually helping yourself. Because them is connected to you in the realm of 100% of the whole. There's not nothing that's not connected in this world. We are connected such in a way that we are not being taught. Why do you think they teach us all the bullshit in school? Why do you think they teach you for 12 straight years bullshit on top of bullshit? See, this is the thing, right? When I say it's bullshit, I don't mean like complete bullshit, but I mean it's more or less often than not bullshit. Because if for 12 years, 7 to 3, you learned about loving one another, you learned about how you were connected to the whole, we wouldn't be where we're at right now in society. We wouldn't be. Because everybody would know that your success is the success of the whole. Your wins is a win for everybody. That's not what's being taught. They teach you to be a winner, and the other people, hey, you just a loser. They try to, this is how they sugarcoat it. When you're young, they say, oh, you get a participation trophy, la, la, la. But deep down inside, the mental fuckers, inside, you're like, damn, I lost. So now that child's feeling bad because he feels like a loser. That child doesn't see that it's just a participation because now the person that won is being uplifted and raised up high. So the mental processing of a child realizes that he's not as good as the other child. Come on, man. I gotta talk about this deep But this is how we're being taught. So now this not just the winners and losers of the competition. Like everything is not a competition. But this I'm gonna break down another part. The educational system tells you, look, oh, you passed, you failed. You passed, you failed. And this starts when? Like first grade? Like, come on, man. First, second, third, whatever. Because they were trying to teach that shit to me. I didn't give a fuck, though. They thought I cared. I didn't care, man. Like, whatever. You trying to spin me? Like, I feel like this is why I feel like I was called to be passionate about people. Because my whole life, I'm breezing through. I'm breezing through. I knew just as much as the other kids knew. I didn't really care about the system, though. I'm like, man, I'm not listening to this person. I don't get why. I'm doing the work. I can do the work and all that. Like, I can do this shit. This shit is nothing. This shit is easy. But why would I go home and fucking keep doing work? You know what I mean? Why would I couldn't do that, But we're taught that pass and fail. So now there's the child out there that feels like he's a failure because he can't keep up with the other kids. So now mentally he feels as though his friends are going farther ahead and now he's behind because society said, oh, well, look, you're a failure. You didn't make it, so you have to stay back. Now his friends, guess what? Your friends are looking at you like, oh, yo, Johnny, he's like, yo, Johnny, you fucking in 3rd grade, Johnny. We in 4th grade. And this is the shit that I seen in school. Hi, look at Johnny. He's still he old as shit in the 3rd grade class. And I'm sitting there like, yo, why the fuck is they doing that to these people? You know what I mean? I'm sitting there like, this shit ain't right. You know what I mean? That shit ain't right. Like, this is not how we supposed to be teaching. I'm young and I understood this. But I realized that that's what it was. Because you know what? That's what they were trying to teach me. And I'm sitting there like, yo, why is my own parents sitting here telling me that I'm going to be a failure because I don't give a fuck about the school system? You know what I mean? And so when I talk to them about that today, they like, oh, well, that's not, what are you trying to say? I'm like, no, I'm not, I'm talking to y'all in love. Why would y'all do that? I'm asking. Like, why did y'all buy into that bullshit narrative? You know, because I wasn't the standout kid. I was the class clown. I was the kid in school who more or less knew shit, but didn't give a fuck about shit. So I breezed through. Like I'm telling you, I breezed through. Got suspended, but I never was too bad. But I toed the line. I knew how to toe the line very well. You know what I mean? I was very good at towing the line. Like, you know what I mean? Even when I graduated from high school and went to college. I'm like, yo, man, this shit ain't for me. You know? But it's like, this is what I'm about to break down. College wasn't for me. I was told that it was the only thing for me. And if I was told that, yo, you're not going to go to college, you're not going to do this. And then, guess what? I was told that, oh, you got to get a job. You got to work. You got to do this. You got to do that. So I'm really not finding myself. I'm really not finding who I really am as a person because of what my parents are allowing society to teach them to teach me. So I really didn't develop who I was as a person until much later on in life, to where I see now that, yo, this shit could have been dealt with much earlier if we had given our children the right information. These issues of mental health could have been eliminated much earlier if we had sought to comfort and nurture the children. You know what I mean? We have to nurture the mothers, because how can we have the mothers in the correct mentality, okay, the correct mind frame to nurture the children if they're being lied to? How can we have our mothers in the correct mentality to embrace nature if they're being diverted away from? Mothers are the essence of nature. Mothers are the essence of existence, but they're being diverted away from this understanding. They're being told that, look, you can't even this is some real deep shit, but I can't talk about because I'm not a woman, but I'm going to just say, like, I feel like women was taken away from breastfeeding for industrialization of milk. And they made it a thing about pain. They made it, oh, it's the pain. You got to feel pain. You're going to feel hurt. Yeah. But this is nature. The connection of breast milking your babies. They love it when you see the animals do it. But now when a grown woman does that, everybody's like, oh, I'm offended. I'm offended. Oh my God. And I'm like, yo, let woman be woman. Let woman be the nurturers of existence. Women can't even embrace nature in America. I mean, they can, but then they get told, like, look, you got to find work. You got to go to school. You got to do this. You got to find money, this and that. How is it that we allowed this sick men of society to take our women out of the home and to place our woman in the workplace? How? And then say, look, leave your child in the hands of this fucked up system. Leave your children in the hands of these people who are not going to teach them the right information, but the wrong information. So now the kids are turning on the parents. Huh? How are the kids? The kids are turning on the parents. Because society taught us in such a way that we would see it only fit to turn on our parents. Society taught us in such a way that we would see it only fit not to understand the elders. The elders have the keys. But we've been taken away from understanding and listening to the elders, embracing the elders. As a child, they said, oh, the elders, this and that, but it was a more or less structured in Christianity religion. And I wasn't with that. You gotta understand, I wasn't with that shit either. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You trying to force me to listen to this shit? I ain't with it. We shouldn't force anything upon a child. Nothing. You shouldn't force any information upon a child, especially if you haven't sought and searched that it's the right information. If you haven't asked nature if it's the right information. That's what I'm saying. We need to get our lessons from nature. We need to get our understanding from nature. We need to get our information from nature. How do you think the animals thrive and survive in nature? How do you think they make do in nature? All the different environments, all the traveling, all this, and they live in nature throughout their whole existence. As we were supposed to as well. We were supposed to live in nature throughout our whole existence. We weren't supposed to live in these nice big houses and things like that. We were supposed to live in natural environments. But we were supposed to make them in the way that they can be nice and big or whatever you wanted the case to be. But for everybody. Not just for one person to have a 10,000 square foot mansion overlooking the rest of the fucking city where it's all these tight houses and buildings and streets and all this stuff. We were supposed to embrace natural existence together. So that way, if there was a big house, the mansion, in the nature standpoint, we could all have access to it. Not just a chosen few, but that's what's going on in society. A chosen few has strategically placed themselves in a position to control and dictate everything. And then they have thrown us into a cage full of division. We're caged in. Like, we really are caged in. And we don't even realize we're really caged in together. It doesn't matter who you are. You're caged in. You know what I mean? You don't think you are, but up here, you're caged in. If you go to work, wake up and go to work for money and do the bidding for the system, you're caged in. I'm not saying that, hey, I understand and I dig it. You know what I mean? I'm taking myself out of that shit. I'm taking myself out of the equation. I don't know how this is what I'm saying. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But I understand that we have great minds. We have great minds to adapt. We have great minds to adjust. We have great minds to evolve. So now, if I say, look, I'm taking myself out of the workforce because I can't see my hard work signing checks for war. I can't see my hard work signing checks to take advantage of a third world country. I'm not going to do it. But that's what we're told to do. That's what we're convinced to do. But we never question it. We never second guess it. We have to start questioning that shit because you know what you're doing every day that you wake up and go to work? Every paycheck that you get, you're signing your blood. I mean, you're signing your name on their blood. And every time I looked at my paycheck, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Knowing that this shit, 50% is going to the military's fun. That's what it is. They're having fun at our expense. And I realized that I'm working hard. I'm working my ass off. I'm like, yo, man, my back hurt. I'm tired. I can't do nothing with my son. I can't do nothing with my family. I can't do nothing with my friends because I work too fucking much. So now I'm realizing like, yo, is this shit beneficial to my existence? I look 10 years down the line and say, yo, I could do great in this job. You know what I mean? I can work and I can be great. I can be great at anything. We all can be great at anything. Know that. If whatever you choose to do, you can be great at it. It doesn't have to be inside the system. You can be great at it because we have the minds to process it in a way that we can make ourselves great. We can be great together outside of the system, but we haven't deprogrammed from what the system and society taught us to realize that. So now you see people running around in a confused state saying, oh, we gotta vote. We gotta do something. We gotta vote for Bernie Sanders. We gotta get the Democrats out of Republicans. And it's like, wait a minute. No, people don't. Don't fall for it. Stop. I was just like you. I fell for this shit. We are great. We can be great at anything. Anything we choose to do. We first had to realize it though. You've heard it. So when it's like, yo, I'm talking about people. This is funny. I'm talking about people now like, yo, man, yeah, fuck that shit. I ain't doing all that shit, man. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. How are you gonna do this and how are you gonna do that? Damn. Where's the support? I mean, you're supposed to be my loved one. You're supposed to support me, right? But that's the thing. We don't know true love. True love doesn't tell someone who wants to think differently like, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. True love doesn't throw pessimism on their shit. True love says, look, if that's what you want to do, I'm going to support you. I might not understand it now, but as you go along with it and my support is there, I might start to understand what you're doing. We need to start supporting people who are thinking differently. We need to start supporting people who are trying to do different things outside of that which they're telling us to do. The natives didn't say, oh yeah, son, you want to go off front? No, they supported their people in everything that they wanted to do. But you know what they did? Properly educated them. They say, look, the wolves, you might want to watch out for the wolves, or you might want to take this just in case that they might attack you. But you can actually talk to the wolves if you really know what you're doing. You can actually talk to the elephants if you know what you're doing. You can actually talk to the giraffes if you know what you're doing. You can actually talk to all animals if you know what you're doing. The proper information was passed down. We can communicate with animals. We can communicate with water. We can communicate with plants. This is just something that I know. I haven't done. I mean, I communicate with animals a little bit, but we aren't taught to where we understand it fully, and we can't grasp. People, you said some shit like this. I say, look, this. I'm like, to each his own. Understand this, to each his own. But the pets aspect has me fucked up. Because people think pets are just loving, like, oh, I love the cute pet, this and that. But no, we can communicate with these animals in a way that takes us higher. Takes them higher. They're not just loving, huggable, cuddly pets. They're vessels also. We're vessels. They're vessels that are supposed to be in communication together to elevate together. You know what I mean? To elevate together to our highest ability and embrace nature together. We can communicate with birds. We can communicate with bears. We can communicate with sea animals. We can communicate with the water. How will we know? We're just told that, oh, these people communicate. These are the only ones that can do this and that. They have the intelligence. You don't have it. We're told that we don't have any intelligence. But the intelligence is natural. You don't have to fucking go to school and learn some craftily laid out terms and not. You can go take your ass outside, start getting your hands dirty, your feet dirty, and thinking and elevating, observing, informing yourself on all this stuff. You know what I mean? We still have the ability to get there as people. We have to raise our consciousness. Not in a way that says, oh, we are only allowed to change things in governments. No, we have to raise our consciousness to say we can change things together. We can change things together by informing ourselves of the truth. Informing ourselves of that which nature is trying to teach us. Think about it. Before I leave, I just want you to go and think about this. Imagine if you have kids, family, whatever. Imagine if your kids learn from 1st grade to 12th grade all about their existence in nature. The sun, the moon, the water, the dirt, the plants, life, and people. 7th or 1st through 12th grade. Imagine if that was what they learned about. We wouldn't have anybody mentally suffering. Because we would understand what certain people are going through at a certain time and help them in a way that we can help them. We wouldn't have everybody dividing themselves up because, oh, I have this money. Yeah, I'm bossed up with this and that. You this and that. You don't have my money, so you're not as cool as me, or you ain't shit. You ain't got no money, so who are you? Who are you? You're nobody. You have no money. You don't have all these cool materialistic things that I have. You're nobody. This is wrong. This is not who we are as a people. We are great as a people. We need nothing. All we need is each other. Think about that. That's all we need. One another, coming together, thinking as one, moving as one, educating ourselves as one. Not as I'm only going to hold this information to my white folks. And we're going to teach the white folks so we can keep getting ahead of the black people. And the black people are like, I'm only going to teach my kids that this white folks hey, they got it out for us. No. We need to start educating ourselves as one. Black and white needs to come together. Mexican, whatever needs to come together because that stuff is non-existent. That stuff is non-existent. The sun, the moon didn't say, oh, you're black, you're white, oh, that's only one person I'm going after. No. They said, you are people. You are my people. I'm going to shine my glory on all of you. The plants rise up out of the earth and the dirt, not for one people's, but for all people's. You understand what I'm saying? We have to get back in touch with our passion for all people. We have to really search deep down inside for the true meaning of love. The true understanding of what love can do for us as a people. But a passion of love. Not something that says, oh, I love all people, but then your actions go and do way different than what you're telling the people. You know what I mean? Because you're like, oh, I love all people, but then at the end of the day, you don't even fuck with black people. You don't even fuck with Mexican people. You say that you fuck with them, but it's like, no. I see right through bullshit every day. I mean, I was such a bullshitter. This is what I'm telling you people, I live this shit. I live this. Personally, I live this. I was such a bullshitter. I loved this system. I was a finesser of this system. I knew what they were doing. You know what I mean? I knew all the tactics they were doing. But then it's like, oh, I thought it was still a chance. And that's why I got caught back up in it with the Bernie Sanders thing. I thought it was still a ray of hope. And I'm like, no. It really was a lie. And that confirmed it for me. That finalized what I needed to be finalized. Because then I seen things for what it was. Distractions. Diversions. Division. We need to deprogram. Once we deprogram, or when we start to deprogram, we'll start to reprogram. But we need to reprogram with the right information. We need to reprogram from a standpoint of nature. We need to not program our children in the way that society has taught us to be programmed through TV,
toys and the likes thereof. We need to deprogram them to read the rich history of this sick society. To review the history of the ancients that were untampered with from man-made things or man-made relevance in this society. We need to get back to who we are as vessels of this planet, vessels of this universe. Because the knowledge is, like, I'm telling you, this is about to go high. The knowledge is so unlimited that who knows the depths of where we can go. You know what I mean? We wouldn't even understand. Like, we say, they told us, oh, space, we made it to space and this and that, and like, we landed on the moon, this and that. But how would we know if we could go further than the moon if we fail to get in tap with the innovation of the youth from a nature standpoint? Millions and millions of young children are not even getting tapped with their innovation in terms of nature. We could have been farther than the moon. I'm just telling you the truth. Go in peace. Go in love, and go and be passionate about people. That's the name of my organization I'm starting in Philly. Because I'm passionate about people. I don't want to see people suffering anymore. And I realize that I don't want to see people be divided anymore. You know what I mean? Black, white, straight, gay, whatever the case is. Rich, poor. I mean, yeah, that's different. Rich and poor. We got to do a little more understanding on that. Because the rich people got to start giving up some of their wealth. You know, they got to redistribute their wealth to the right places instead of saying, oh, well, we're going to just store up our riches and save for our children and build up the empire and this and that. No. We need everybody to look after everybody. And the way we do that is properly informing one another and properly educating or re-educating one another about the truth, about the suffering that we feel inside from the wrong information that we were taught throughout history. I love you all. I really do. Like, I really love people. And then people get mad at me like, oh, you love everybody. Why don't you care about us? No, I care about everybody. Like, it's not just about caring about caring about everybody is caring about you. You know what I mean? We have to care about not only our families, but everybody. So people are like, oh, you gotta love Mike. You gotta love your family first. No, it's just shit. Love is unequal. Love is unequal. You know what I mean? Love is equal. Sorry. Love is equal. There's no unequal, like, you gotta love me differently than you. I mean, for like woman and man, maybe like relationship wise, I guess that's different. You know what I mean? But we have to love each other equally. We have to take ourselves in like this. The religious, I refer to religion. Love your neighbors as you love yourself. People throw that verse around in the church all the time. That's why I don't go to church. People throw that verse around. Like, oh, love your neighbors as you love yourself. As soon as they get out of church, they're going and showing how they don't love their neighbors as they love themselves. I mean, that's the easiest one. That's how easy you are. Whatever. But we are called to love one another as much or even more than we love ourselves. So in order for us to get there, we have to properly inform ourselves to the right information, not the wrong information. We have to not seek out the diversions. We have to seek out the truth of what nature is trying to show us. I love you all. Thank you all for joining. And with that, enjoy your day. But remember what I say. Every day is the day to evolve. Every day is the day that we can come into our own as people and come together. Not in a way that says, oh, it has to be under my selfish pretenses. It has to be my way. It has to be under my line, my eyes. And yeah, it's got to be my way. I got to be the leader. I want to be the leader. I'm the leader of it. No. There are no leaders. We are all leaders in our own right. Okay? And as we go forward in understanding and informing ourselves, we will see how to properly distribute the positions that we all need to have. Because like I said, we need to feel a military formation against those that are oppressing us. And the only way we get into that military formation is that first we think not from a state of violence, but a state of stability, a state of stability in the way we inform ourselves. So that way we won't be inputting the wrong information. So that way we don't output into the world the wrong information. When we input into it the proper information, when we input into it the proper love, we output the proper love. We output the proper information to other people that may need it. So with that, go in peace, go in love. You know what I mean? Passionate about people in the way. Hold it down, y'all.